If you're struggling to get views and grow on TikTok, it's probably because the platform has been changing and you just haven't realized yet. So in this video, I want to share with you the 3 biggest shifts that I'm making. That way you know the things that you should be doing in order to get that growth that you want. And the good news is that these changes in what's working on TikTok are actually great for new creators. They make it easier to get followers and to get views. And I want to start with one of the most effective ways to grow on TikTok right now, which is creating a video series. And you've probably seen this before because every video that's in a series has like a title at the top that's going to be the topic of the video, and then it's going to say part 3, part 47, day 246, something like that. And the reason that these work so well is because they're helping solve one of the biggest problems that creators have when they're trying to get views and they're stuck. Because when you start creating a video series, you're essentially committing to making a bunch of videos about the same topic. And this is going to help you get views because it's going to help the algorithm figure out what your account is about. And that's going to allow them to, allow the algorithm to show your content to the people that are most likely to watch it, and that's going to increase your views. It also forces creativity because you have to think of new ways to talk about the exact same subject and to get people's attention. And when you do that, you're going to come up with new hooks, you're going to come up with new concepts, and eventually you're going to stumble on something that is going to go viral, which is another reason that these series can be so powerful, because you don't need every single video in your series to take off. You just need 1 or 2, you just need a couple of them to go off, because when one goes off and people see it's part of a series, it creates binging behavior. People are now going to go back to your profile to see the past videos in the series because they're interested in that topic and they want more. And that binging behavior is going to send a lot of strong signals to the algorithm to, 1, push your content, because when people are watching videos and they go to your profile and they watch more videos, it's telling the algorithm, hey, this person's content rocks. We need to show more of their other videos to more new people because they're going to start binging too. But the other thing it does is it creates fans for you. Those people that are watching multiple videos, every time they see the next video in your series, they're going to stop and watch, and they're going to watch it the whole way through, which is going to help that individual video. But they're also going to follow you. They're also going to get served more of your videos because since they watch so many of them to begin with, the algorithm is going to say, hey, we need to send them everything, even the videos that aren't in the series. So this is only going to help you get your views, grow your audience, and build a real strong fan base that's interested in your content, not just the topic that you talk about. Now, I've seen 3 main ways that people are using series, and I think they're all effective. And honestly, you could use all 3 of them, and you can do more than one series if you want to. The first way that people are creating video series is they are documenting their journey, right? They're solving a problem for themselves, and they're just sharing that information. And we call this the curious student method. That's like what it's called as a marketing term. So if you were starting a journey where you're trying to lose weight and you're going to document it every single day, and you're going to share what's working for you and the struggles you went through and like the wins that you had and all of those things, people are going to follow that journey because it's entertainment, and it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you because eventually people might want to give you sponsorships. Like if you're saying, hey, I really love this supplement, I use it every day, then that's a company that you could potentially work with and get paid for your content. And if you have a massive transformation, you open yourself up to the ability to sell digital products or coaching in the future. I know that's how I got started, right? I got into the online business space because I had a massive weight loss transformation between my first and second year of law school. I started helping people out, I started selling it, and then I started using social media and paid advertising to grow that business. And that was over a decade ago, and it allowed me to leave my legal career because I solved a problem for myself. I started solving it for other people. So this curious student method is great if like you're not an expert in a particular field yet, but you're really passionate about it, or you want to break into that digital product space and be able to earn money from your content in that way. This is a great way to start because you don't have to be an expert. You're just solving your own problems, and that will lead to bigger things down the road. It's also really good if you struggle to like let your personality shine in your content. If you want to get more personal, if you want to share your personality more, let people get to know you a little better, this is a really great way to do it. Now, another great way, and this is good for beginners and experts alike, is a series that has to do with accountability. And so the idea here would be, what is something like a problem that people want to solve or a result that they want to get, but it's really hard for them to do it. And so to give you an example in this space, like TikTok growth, like if you struggle to show up on TikTok every single day, like I could do a video series that's like, TikTok growth accountability day 1, right? And it's just every single day I could be creating some content that's going to help people to stay accountable. And I could be like, hey, comment if you're in on this challenge, and then I could give them some frameworks to make it easier for them to show up every single day, the thing that they're struggling to do. And honestly, as I'm saying this seems like a really good idea, so I might do this. The last one is the expert series. Like if you have that expertise and you're just going to talk about a specific problem, like a specific result people want, and you're going to tell them how to do it. You're going to give them the steps. You're going to give them the information that they need to know, the things that they need to do differently, the mistakes that they need to avoid. You can set that up as a series. So once again, it could be, how to get more views on TikTok, or why you're not getting followers on TikTok part 1. And then I could literally go through all the different reasons that it happens in different videos from different angles, okay? So if you are an expert, if you do have a business or something, this is a good type of content that you could do if you wanted to create a video series. And once again, you could do it on more than one topic. So if you have different content pillars, you could do a series on every single one of those content pillars, and it just becomes part of your regular routine. Now, the second big shift that I'm seeing on TikTok is the type of content that you're creating and what's actually working right now. And content can really fall into a couple of different buckets. You kind of have entertainment, education, inspiration. I'm a big fan of educational content because it allows you to show off your expertise. But when you're creating this type of content, there's really two main types, and most people only make one or the other, and you really need to make both. The first one is going to reach a lot of people, and these are the videos that are going to get you the followers. But the second type is going to be more narrow, but these are the money makers. And people tend to judge the views of these different types of videos the same, but they shouldn't, because they are different. Those bottom of funnel videos, they're going to get less views, but they're going to be higher value views. Those are going to be the people that are actually going to buy from you. Whereas that top of funnel content, that's all about growth. That's going to help you get the followers. That way you have that social proof, and people are more likely to follow you, because that's something that a lot of people struggle with early on, is that when they don't have a lot of followers yet, people are more reluctant to follow them because they don't see that other people follow them. They're like, I'm not sure if this person's legit yet. So it gets easier over time. But that top of funnel content is important because it reaches more people. It's going to allow you to get discovered by more of those high value viewers that you want. So it's important that we have both types of content. So here's what this means, like from a practical standpoint. This is what you're going to do in order to get more views and followers. First, you want to create more content where you're just sharing observations, and less content where you're just giving expertise. And let me give you an example of this. If I had just come on here and said, you need to create a video series if you want to grow on TikTok, those of you who don't know me are going to be thinking like,
who is this guy? Or who's he to tell me that? Like, why should I listen to him?
Because anytime somebody gives you unsolicited advice, which is what you're doing with your content, like you're automatically going to think about those things. And I actually remember like a while back, this other creator that was teaching how to grow on TikTok, and she was always talking about like, you have to create your signature series to grow. But I remember like sorting her content by views, and all of her biggest viewed videos, like the only ones that were getting views, were about the signature series thing. And so for me, I was just thinking like, this is like a gimmick that you created that's getting you a ton of views and maybe not necessarily helping anybody. And that's not necessarily true, but that's the thought that went through my head. So if you think back to that first big shift that I shared with you, I said, I'm seeing a lot of creators that are winning by doing video series right now. I'm making an observation about what is working right now instead of telling you what you need to do to get the result. And so what happens when you frame it as an observation is that people are either going to say,
yeah, I'm seeing that too. There must be something to that. Or like, I noticed that, but I hadn't really like put the thought together. Good point.
Or maybe they haven't seen that at all, but they're like,
oh, that's interesting. I want to know more about that, and maybe I should give it a shot.
With observational content, your viewers don't have to judge whether you're an expert or whether they should listen to you. They're not having those thoughts. It's just like,
oh, this is interesting.
And it's going to get a lot more views. It also invites people to engage because they're going to comment because you're going to give them an aha moment, or they're going to want to say, oh, I saw that too. Or they're going to want to challenge it. Maybe they're going to push back against it because they don't agree that. They see something else. That's okay. All that engagement, especially that controversial engagement, is going to be really good, and it's going to help push your videos. And so what I found is that if you make more observational content, that's going to get you the views, that's going to get you the followers. This is going to be your top of funnel content, and it's still kind of positioning you as an expert because you're the one that's noticing the thing. And then people are going to be grateful because they're going to be like,
hey, I didn't know that, and it worked for me.
And then you can make your expert content, which isn't going to get as many views, but it's going to be the deep dives, it's going to be authoritative, and that's the stuff that's going to get you the deals. That's the stuff that's going to grow your business. And so you just really want to make sure that you're not stuck on the,
oh, I just want to get views and followers
and never make any money, or only make the expert content, which you're never going to get the eyeballs to actually have it perform and grow your business. Now, the third big shift that I'm seeing on TikTok, and it's been going on for a while, is great news for you if you are a new creator. And that's because raw content is what's winning right now. You don't need fancy lighting. You don't need fancy edits. You just need your phone, which is an incredible camera. Like, think about that. You have a $1,000 camera in your pocket. That's all you need to use. For a while, the Hormozy style captions and the Mr. Beast style retention editing, like that was what was working, and that's what everybody does. And honestly, to this day, I still have these idiotic editors that are sending me emails and they're like, your content's great, but you could have some better editing and it would get better results. No, it doesn't. We've tested it. And that's on YouTube and on TikTok. What works is raw. What works is like you're talking to somebody. And that's good news because the fancy edits and stuff, it's hard. It takes a lot more time. But really all you need to do is pull your phone out and start talking to it, right? That's the style of content. Call it like the FaceTime video. You're on the phone with your friend, you're on a FaceTime, you're talking to them about whatever. Like that's the style of content that you should be creating. That's the style of content that's working right now. And the way that you talk to the camera is important too. And the way I always think about it is like I went to a conference and I'm sitting at the bar and I'm talking to other people in the industry and they're asking about me, I'm asking about them, all that kind of stuff. And they find out what I do and they ask more about it. And when that happens and we're sitting there over a beer, I'm going to give them, I'm not going to hide the ball about anything. I'm going to tell them all the secrets. I'm going to tell them everything I know. And I'm going to tell them a lot of stories. That's how your videos should be. For one, it builds a ton of trust because you're not hiding the ball and you're super genuine and people appreciate that. It makes them want to follow you and it makes them want to watch more of your content. It also makes them more likely to buy from you because they trust you. They have to know, like, and trust you in order to buy from you. It's also incredibly high value and it's super entertaining because it's not this boring, dry, talking on a whiteboard lecture, kind of crap that I had to sit through in law school. And you don't have to be like funny haha in order to be entertaining on video. You just have to be unique. It's just about sharing your personality and sharing your perspective. And I'm telling you, that is not the easiest thing. It is hard to get to where I can just talk in the camera the way I am now. It takes a lot of practice, but you're posting at least one video every single day on TikTok. So you're going to get that practice. It's going to come with time. Just do your best. And one of the, just a quick tip here, sidebar, is stop trying to make the perfect video. If you're recording the video and you're having to delete it 5 times because of the ums and the ahs and because you mess things up and you're trying to make it more concise and all of that kind of stuff, just stop. Just hit record, talk to the camera, do the best you can to be as off the cuff as possible, and then make a couple of edits afterward as you need to. If you do that, you're going to achieve that more raw format that's going to do better, and you're going to develop your personality on camera faster, and it's going to take you less time to create your content. Now, I want to close with one more observation, which is if you're able to recognize the patterns on any social media platform, but especially on TikTok, you're going to be able to win. Because if you see what is working now and then you start adopting that and you start doing those things, it's going to work for you too. And that's how all the big creators are successful. It's not because they're following, because that's not how TikTok works anymore. It's all about the video, the individual videos. The reason the big creators continue to get the big views is because they've figured out the patterns that work and they do them over and over and over again. They're looking at what's working for other people, or they're looking at what's working for themselves, and they're using and they're creating that type of content. And you can do the same thing as a new creator. And the good thing is that since it's not about how many followers you have, if you recognize one of those patterns and you utilize it, you have the ability to blow up on day one. And so implementing these big shifts that I'm talking about is going to allow you to get a leg up. And as I've mentioned repeatedly, these are all good news things for people that have small followings. But if you want to know more about the exact patterns and what's working and what to do, I've put together this video and I want you to watch it next because it really lays out how to blow up in the next 30 days and all of the things that you should be doing on TikTok to really be successful.